All right, podcast number 5. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I am Joe with Cowboy Cartel.
Hey, folks, it's Lionel here with Cowboy Boots, Hats, and Western Loft Enthusiasts.
And in the studio with us tonight, we have special guest Tim Malm.
Thank you. I am the CEO and founder of Stronger for the Deep Coffee. Thank you for having me join you.
Well, we are so pleased to have you here, Tim. And in honor of Tim joining us tonight, I'm drinking a coffee.
I already had my coffee.
It is a little late, and
You already drank a cup this morning?
Yeah, it's a little late in the day for coffee, isn't it?
A big cup.
So, which one of your coffees did you have this morning?
All right.
I had the dad.
Oh, that's a good blend. I love that one.
Super strong and good. Dark roast.
Yes.
I prefer a dark roast. That's about my favorite. Something the darker the better for me. All right. What hat's everybody wearing tonight? Everybody looks good in a hat today.
Well, today I got on the new.
That looks new. Sir, I haven't seen that before.
This is the new American 50/50. And you did tell me, by the way, that it was a life-changing hat, and I must say it is. I mean, that it is a life-changing hat. I'm very happy I went with it.
That's right. The 50/50 is got this ventilation that will change your life in a hot day. So, Tim, you're looking fantastic there, and your patched up shirt and black hat kind of match there, man. What are you wearing today?
Thank you. So, like you said, an American hat company.
I'm so glad you could join us today. We'd like to hear your story and talk to you a bit about your company and the meaning behind it.
Thank you. It is my honor to be here.
All right. So, welcome for sure. So, 3-time National Reserve champion for calf roping.
3-time national qualifier.
Okay. Impressive stats you have, don't you?
National Reserve champion one time.
Well, you have some impressive stats. You had a very promising career. Did you intend to rodeo professionally?
Yes, sir. That fall, I was going to go for my rookie season.
That fall, 2010?
Yes, sir.
And so in the spring of 2010, you had an accident while roping at your family ranch. Is that right?
Yes, June 6, 2010. I had a single steer roping accident at my family ranch.
And that left you in the hospital for quite some time.
Yes, for 2 weeks in the ICU in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And then almost for a month in Craig Rehabilitation Hospital in Inglewood, Colorado.
But that 4 months of rehabilitation, that wasn't wasn't the only rehabilitation. You do rehab every day, isn't that right?
Yes, sir. Mom and Dad, I work extremely hard at home. I do 1,500 sit-ups a week and ride about 16 miles a week on a recumbent bike.
That's impressive. I only do about 50 sit-ups a day. I'm, I need to pick my game up, I guess. 16 miles a week. That's impressive too. You're really working very hard at this, and
Zero.
and for 1 year you didn't walk at all. Is that right?
There, yes, kind of.
But it's getting better
The
every day.
lights were on, but nobody was. Yes, sir.
Now, after you had this accident, you started a company, Stronger 413. Tell us a little bit about how that company
Yes, sir.
started.
I just wanted something to use as an avenue to get my story out there to the public about what God has done for me and the miracle He performed in my life is keeping me alive. And they said I would never do anything at the hospital when I came home. At first they said I wouldn't come home, and I did come home, and now every day is something new that they say I would do.
So that's impressive. We didn't talk about this before. They told you you would never come home, and then they told you you'd never do anything, but you've proved them wrong every time now. Is that right?
Yes, sir. They said I wouldn't survive that first night, and I did. Then they said I would need solid food, and I did. Then they said I wouldn't come home, and I did. They also said I never rub again off a horse, and one of these days I'm going to do it.
So I agree with you. I think you absolutely will do it because I've seen you. You've already roped a dummy on the ground. I've seen that video. We posted that video to the American Hat Company Enthusiast group. I think I posted it to the Cowboy Cartel group as well.
Yep,
It's
and I did it on the. I also posted that on the Cowboy Boots Hats and Western Life Enthusiasts. That video got a lot of like and a lot of reactions from people, and they were all very good.
So do you practice roping on a regular basis too? Is that something that you're I know you're working toward roping from a horse, but is it something you practice regularly with your physical therapy?
As much as I can, not as much as I want to. If I could be out there all day.
So, what is it about roping that, I guess what is it that for you? What was roping for you? How did you get into roping? Obviously, it's part of your family business. You own a ranch, and I'm sure it's part of daily life roping calves.
Yes,
How did you get into it competitively?
I never touched a rope until I was 11 years old. And then one night after watching the NFL, there's something like a bug bit me and it took hold. And I would compare it to breathing. You had to have oxygen to live. I had to have roping.
Who taught you to rope? Was it your father?
Yesterday's father and grandfather.
That's right. Your family has a long history in that area and on in ranching. How long have your family lived there?
Yes, sir. 1887 is when we homesteaded. I
1887.
am sixth generation.
Sixth
Wow,
generation. Go ahead, Ron.
that is quite some time.
Yeah.
So yeah, since the early late 1800s, that's an impressive time. So you guys have been able to develop a lot on that land, and it is definitely part of your family's tradition.
Most definitely.
Is it you still?
I grew up on a horse
At what age did you start riding?
probably for, I think,
And your horse, the one that you roped with in the finals, and what was his name?
DJ.
And DJ, you still have DJ, right?
It was in 1998. Yes, sir. It
It's
was in
1998.
1998. Quarter horse. Thorough Gilden.
How's DJ doing these days? Is he living a life of luxury out there? Or is he still working?
Is fat and happy.
And that's good. That's all a horse wants to be.
That's absolutely.
Yes.
Well, that's great. I'm glad he's still with us and part of the family, and you guys have a long tradition. You uh, so you started in 2012 the 413 as a company, Stronger 413, right? And at
Yes,
that
sir.
time, at that
Yes,
time,
sir.
go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you didn't. You didn't interrupt. We have a little bit of a delay just due to the kind of the nature of the beast with this platform we're using. So we kind of step on each other a little bit, but don't worry about it. My questions. I've got a notebook here in front of me, and I can ask them later. If you have something to say, we definitely want to hear from you. That's why you're here, sir. So in
No, I like the question.
all right, Stronger 413 started as a company in 2012, and at that time, what was your main product? It was you were doing this to get your word out there and your story, and to help other people. What was your main product? It was
It started out as a coffee cup business and then it evolved into t-shirts, hat, sweatshirt, and then finally coffee.
And coffee came into play in 2019. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Save the best for last.
Maybe
Very
not.
true.
Maybe you got some better to come.
That is, yep.
Now, in between that time, you also had some books. You published some books yourself. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me
I
about your?
had two books. One in his time is a compilation of Mom's journal entries, along with my aunt came to get up together. Then the second book is The Battlefield, and it's a 36-day devotional on the book of Joshua.
So you say it was your mom's journal notes, the first book.
Yes, sir.
So that's an interesting. I'd like to read that book. I will definitely check it out because that's an interesting aspect that maybe people don't think about. You know, they hear your story and the trials that you're going through and your relationship with God, but they don't realize the effect, you know, that could have on your parents. You know,
Yes.
of course they hear the doctor say you're not going to make it through that first night. It's horrible. And so I'm sure that she has some very very touching notes. They're just I'm sure they're just so glad to have you back at home.
Well, some days.
Some days. Yeah, I'm sure that's true with everybody though.
So Tim, real quick, just going back to your horse, DJ. Um, is it a gelding or a mare?
Yielding,
Okay,
born in 1998.
wow. So, uh, about 24 years old now, and he's fat and
Yes,
happy.
What kind of horse is DJ?
yes, sir. He is a registered quarter horse, sorrel color.
Awesome. And was was his mom on your ranch before, or did you purchase him?
I purchased him
Okay,
from his guiding Kansas. Yes,
a horse breeder.
yes, sir.
Perfect. Yeah.
So Tim, you were just 19 years old when you had your accident.
Yes, sir.
And now here you are, 32 years old, 12 years later, and you are the president, CEO of your own company. And this summer, you partnered with um, Cheyenne Frontier Days. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. That was such a blessing. I've known Tommy Hersey, the CEO of Frontier Days. He's been a family friend for as long as I can remember. and he is very instrumental in bringing recovery business out to the public.
And you got 4 blends of coffee, all kind of related to Wyoming. Is that right? And a couple of the blends have been actually named by the Frontier Days. Is that right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir, the Frontier and the Dad were both named by Giant Frontier Days. The Wyoming and the Berry Berg or BB were named by me. Excellent coffees.
Can you tell us a little bit about your blend of coffee?
It's really, really good. It's a compilation of Costa Rican coffee, I believe, or maybe Colombian. Yes,
And so, how did you decide on coffee?
the lightest roast, the lightest roast is the Frontier. The medium roast is the Wyoming, and the medium dark roast is the BB, and the dark roast is the Dad. It is super strong.
That's the one for me.
Yeah, I really love the BB, the berry buck. I don't know. I just like that blend of, the all the flavors you're getting out of the medium and well the darkness of the dark part, and then the medium kind of mellows it out and just distributes that flavor evenly. I think that's awesome. But I really like all of them. I've tried everything from the medium to the dark roast, and they were all really good. Now, what I will tell you is that I haven't tried the light roast just because I'm not a light roast drinker, but I did promise Tim I was going to try it.
So, Tim, have you
My motto is
so Tim, have you become a
my motto is it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, just as long as you get up stronger than before.
excellent motto for sure?
Absolutely.
Tim,
Thank you.
did you how did you get into coffee? Did you like coffee before that? And are you now a coffee expert? Tell us about your history with coffee.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a coffee expert. I know my coffee is really good, and I don't know really how I really fell into it, but I wanted a way to share my story with everyone, and I loved iced coffee, so they went together that I could share my story with iced coffee, and it just all happened.
Tell us where people can find your coffee and your book and your coffee mugs. Tell us where we can find your products.
You can find them at stronger413.com. That's STRONGER 413.com.
So That's great. I appreciate that, and I'm going to put a link in the a link in the description to your website. I'm going to put it in the description at the on the podcast notes, and I will put a link when I do post processing in the video itself. So thank you for that, and I'm going to ask you a couple more times before we're done where that is.
Yes.
Now,
Thank you.
no problem. So you mentioned you wanted to share your story, and I know you've done speaking engagements. Can you tell us a little bit about your previous speaking engagements and maybe if you have anything upcoming, what you might have upcoming?
I don't have anything upcoming, but I've spoken at everything from little church gatherings to college rodeo churches to rodeo churches at Giant Frontier Days and National Western Stock Show in Denver, Colorado. And I spoke to about 2,000 people at Giant Frontier Days.
Tell us about Cheyenne. You were at Cheyenne this year?
Yes, sir. And all I can say is this definitely the daddy of them all.
You haven't missed too many Cheyenne Frontier Days, is that right?
No, sir.
Lionel and I are planning to attend Cheyenne Frontier Days next year, and we absolutely intend to
Yes,
see
sir.
you at the same time.
Absolutely.
That
As a matter
would
of fact,
be
we're looking very much
great.
forward to it.
So
Not as much as me.
that's awesome. So Tim, let me ask you this: if somebody's watching this podcast or they listen to this podcast later in the future, and they want to invite you for a speaking engagement, how would they get a hold of you?
They can find my contact information on my website, or they can look me up on Facebook. I am very much involved in Facebook.
Oh, we appreciate that. We love seeing you when you comment.
Definitely.
And I'll put links to your, like I said, I'll put links to your contact information in the show notes. So that's great.
Yep.
Hopefully somebody will see this and have you out. I would love to see you speak at a church. That'd be great too.
Thank you.
No, that's yeah. I was gonna say, I'm a cyclist myself, and it is definitely one of the best things you could do as far as physical therapy. Now, when you do your physical therapy. Now, you said prior to this that you don't use any particular physical therapist to do it. You do it all on your own, and I believe we've said that one of the reasons why you do it all on your own is because doing something that you're more familiar with, as far as roping and getting your movements from things that you enjoy and that you are familiar with, is a better way. I definitely do agree with that 100%. But can you tell us more about that?
Well, I'm under the direction of Dr. Kyle Daigle at Ultimate Performance. I want to change their name to Unlimited Potential because when you walk in there, the only limits are the ones you put on yourself. They don't put any limits on you. They're in Lake Charles, Louisiana. That's
Perfect.
where my exercise is.
Good. And you don't want to put any limits on yourself, like you said, because you can actually accomplish a lot more than something you can, and you know it, and you do want to exceed to a level beyond what one doctor might think.
With man, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes, sir.
Now we talked a little bit earlier about your faith, and I want to talk a little bit about anger. Have you ever had any anger that this has happened to you?
I am angry with how long it's taken and the timetable, but I am not angry at God. He has given me so much, and ever since this other bad thing that's been said before me, but God is using it for my good.
You told me you have a motto when somebody says "Why me?" you you say "Why not me?" Is that right?
When somebody says, "Why me?" I turn it around and say, "Why not me? Why not me for this test? Why not me for this trial?"
It's a very positive outlook.
It's
Definitely.
all about perspective.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm strong enough to have that as my motto. That's very very powerful.
It is.
Can you
So
go ahead, Lionel?
You never know how strong you actually are until strong is the only way you can be.
Yes, sir.
yeah, absolutely. And that shows through to you, and I believe with that motto and that outlook on it, you're basically showing how much actual faith you have in what you believe in, and that's a great thing. Can you touch on that a little bit more?
Well, when I've always been this way, when people can't tell me I can't do something, I want to say, "Oh yeah, just watch me." And that's the same way with these doctors. They told me I couldn't walk, I couldn't rope, I couldn't do nothing. But God says I can.
So you've basically used um, your accident and whatever what all that came after the accident as somewhat of a testimonial and an encouragement for folks who are going through similar trials. Is that right?
Absolutely.
and you're a perfect example of what people can overcome. And I'm sure you've been an inspiration to a lot of people going through these trials, and but not only through them, but through people like us, the regular average folks who are going through little things on a daily basis. And you know you're overcoming so many things, and we're definitely rooting for you. But definitely you've been an inspiration to me a lot since I've heard about your story. And I really appreciate where you're coming from with everything.
I remember. I remember when your
Well,
story,
thank you, Lionel.
Yes, sir.
Tim. I remember when your story came out. American posted it on their Facebook, or I'm sorry, not their Facebook, but their YouTube, and it was a story, and we've shared that story several times.
Yeah,
And um, Lionel and I both saw it, and we talked about it. And Lionel said, "I'm going to do a video on this coffee. I ordered some coffee, and I'm gonna review it." And so it was um, very powerful message. Lionel took it to heart, and he ran with it right away. And it was really good to see Lionel kind of so passionate about that.
Thank you.
well, thank you guys so much. But one thing I want to make clear is I'm nothing special. I still put on my pants one leg at a time. So I'm just like everyone else in the world.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget, uh, everybody, no matter what's going on in their lives and um, who they are, they're still just a person like everybody else, and what they have to deal with is might not be what you have to deal with.
Yes,
It's very humbling.
uh,
We talked about a poem yesterday. Can you share that poem with us?
yes, it was my favorite poem. Footprints in the sand. Now this is probably wrong, but it goes something like this. That they went along the bridge for a while, and the man got to the end of the beach and looked behind him and saw that there was two sets of footprints for a while. Then there was only one set, and then there was two sets a long while ago. And Jesus said, where there is one set of footprints, that is where I carried you. And how true that is. Cause I figured my 32 years of life, I've been hurt for 12 plus. So those 12 plus were a single set of footprints where he carried me. And I just love that power.
I shared with you that's one of my mother's favorite poems as well. I'm going to find.
She's got good taste.
I'm,
Huh?
I'm sorry.
She's got good taste.
Yes, she does. Yes. So I'm going
Huh?
to. I'll get a link to that. I'll get a link to that poem, and I'll put it in the show notes as well, so people can find that and read it for themselves if they would like. But thanks for sharing that with us, Tim.
Huh?
Is there anything?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything that you would like to tell everyone listening right now? You have any thoughts?
not that I know of. Get stronger every day and remember it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, just as long as you get up stronger than before.
Absolutely. We really
Yeah, that's a very good motto to live by.
we really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us tonight. And excuse me, I would like to invite everyone to visit your website and try out your coffee. We will put links to your contact information if somebody would like to contact you for a speaking engagement, or they just want to send you, well wishes, so they can find you. And we really do appreciate you taking the time to be here with us tonight and share your
And
story.
I'd love to talk to people. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for.
It's been such an honor.
Tim, you're welcome anytime. And Tim's very active on Facebook. He is a member of the American Hat Company Facebook group. You can always find him lurking around there. And if you want to send him a message, you can always post it there. Talk about hats, talk about rodeo stuff. That'd be great. Talk about coffee.
Faith.
There you go.
Yep.
So before we end, can you tell me what's next for Tim?
Walk, run, rope, and ride for him.
In that order?
Yeah. Well, that could be debated.
We're definitely looking forward to seeing that happen in a very near future, Tim.
I think I would probably be shooting.
Yes, sir.
I'd be shooting for ride first. That way the horse can do all the work, or most of the work anyway, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I really do appreciate you being here, Tim, and I invite everybody to try out the coffee. And we'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Be
Have a good
blessed.
night.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
God bless,
God
Tim.
bless you.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, what a wonderful person.
Great guy. Just so happy to have him as a guest on here. We talked to him. Oh, I think it was early July. We talked about having him on the podcast, but we knew we had it actually might have been June. We talked about having him on the podcast, but we had the American Texas tour coming up, and we weren't even sure we were going to do that first podcast in July. Well, we wound up just having time to do that. So as soon as we got our feet back, and you got back to Florida, kind of got our bearings back, we knew we wanted to get Tim on here, and so we made this happen.
Yep.
And man, the stuff that he's gone through, and his positive outlook, that's just very powerful, and it makes you wonder, if you have some kind of a little trivial thing happen in your life that you stress about and you worry about, you got to look at Tim. He has such a positive outlook with all that's going on, and how can you even think you're in the same category, with some minor detail of your life, whether it be finances or relationship or whatever. So it's just puts everything in perspective.
Most definitely. I mean, and we go through things every day, and sometimes things, cars road rage and things of that nature happens all the time, and you got to think to yourself, I mean, is it really worth getting really upset about or anything of that nature? And that's what, it was actually perfect that we heard it the first time on the positive time segment, because I mean, I think that's about as much of a display of positive times as you can get.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we were just talking today about road rage and how it's not worth it. It's not worth it to
Yep.
be quick to anger sometimes. So, wow, I wish Clay could have been here tonight for that. It was a great interview. Um,
Most definitely. And by the way, folks, if you guys want to see the initial review of the Stronger 413 coffee, you guys could check it out on Cowboy Boots, Hats, and Western Life Enthusiast YouTube channel, and you'll find it there.
Yeah, I've got my notes here. I intend to put links and I'll put the little drop down links in the YouTube video portion of this show for your review of Tim's coffee, and the American Positive Times video. We'll also put Tim's contact information and his website, and I'll find that Footprints in the Sand poem, and I'll put notes to that as well.
One thing I wanted to say for all you guys listening out there is, initially, Joe said that he had to go ahead and run and get a coffee machine to try out the coffee, Stronger 413 coffee, and Tim last night actually assured him that he didn't have to run and get a coffee machine because he uses the K cups, and Tim told him that he also makes his coffee in K cups. So if y'all are K cup users or whatnot, well, you guys have the opportunity to be drinking Stronger 413 coffee out of your K cup.
That's right. I'm looking that up right now because I'm going to order some of that. As a matter of fact, we talked last night when we were doing some show prep, like as you said about the coffee, and I have not had a chance to look that up yet. So Stronger.
Yeah, and I look forward to seeing your review on it.
Absolutely. I'm looking for stronger413.com. Let's take a look and see what it is here. Because I was under the impression when you ordered it, I just thought it was, just ground coffee. And
yeah, since I don't drink out of K cups, and I usually have, your standard Mr. Coffee maker, I did not bother looking at the K cups, so I forgot to mention that to you. But
look at that!
Now that
I can get 100 of them. That's how I usually order my coffee from Costco, is about 70 at a time. So I can get 100 of these, and that'll last me a good long time. So I'm going to place my order, and we'll talk about it on our next podcast.
There you go. I look forward to watching that on the Cowboy Cartel channel too.
And speaking of our next podcast, we've got another special guest for everybody next week. Or actually, it's 2 weeks from today, which is today. What is it today? Sunday the 14th. So on Sunday the 28th, you can watch our podcast live again. We'll have links to that, and you can always ask questions either in the comments on Facebook, or we have a chat section so people can ask questions while they watch, and we can answer those. And we did not mention that at the beginning of the show for everybody watching, but you can click the chat section and ask us questions. You could have asked Tim questions, but we had a little rocky start today. All right. So anyway, next podcast, Caden Fenolio from Fenolio Boots is going to be our special guest.
Yes. Looking forward to that.
I tell you what, Lionel, I wore those Fenolio rough outs yesterday for the first time. And without giving too much away before I do the review, I did just an unboxing and just an overview. But next weekend, I will be doing the full review because I'm going to wear them all this week. But without giving too much away, they feel like slippers. I didn't wear them very long. I just wore them. I wore them
awesome.
yesterday, and they're pretty comfortable so far. I got to see how they hold up after about 9 miles of walking this week. But I got high expectations for them, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Most definitely. And one thing I wanted to talk to you about those Fenolios, um, lately I've been becoming a very big into square toes, loving the way they look, loving their style. And let's say about 6 months ago, Joe and I could have been very much on the same page because I wasn't too big into square toes, and now they're just becoming my favorite style. And that's just not Joe cup of coffee. So,
That's right.
um, but he does wear them for comfort. But now, um, I do love my seven toes. I think it's a much better option for formal events or for dressing up, or even if you have to dress them down, they just look really nice. Now, the interesting thing about that Fenolia boot and is the toe. And you were showing me the toe. You're like, well, look, it's not a seven toe. It's like a narrow square toe. And it's interesting because it's not a square. It's not a French toe either. So it's
Mm-hmm.
somewhere right there between a wide square toe and a seven toe. It's actually incredible. And to actually finish it off and refine the boot a little bit, they actually did a single stitch welt, which I mean that is one of the nicest looking um, square toes that I've seen. I mean, I guess it's not a wide square toe, but it could almost be that. It's a little confusing and great at the same time.
So as you mentioned, I do own 2 pair of square toe boots. Actually, I don't. I own 4 pair, but 2 of them I don't wear because they're idiots. I bought them for review, which I have not gotten to yet. I was looking at them today, but I don't wear those. I have 2 pair of square toe Anderson Bean, one of which is super comfortable. The other one is just okay. I do wear that at work sometimes just to be comfortable. If I'm going walking, they've got a walking heel. So, if I'm going to be doing a lot of walking, I'll wear those. The thing about the Fenolio, and these are just initial impressions because I have not, tested them at length yet. It's a 1.5 inch square toe that's tapered on the top. So you have a footbed that is wider, almost as wide as a square toe, a wide square toe. And the actual vamp portion of the toe or toe portion of the vamp is formed in such a way that it looks almost like a 7-toe. It's considered a cutter toe. It's very punchy. It's kind of built for riding. It's an actual working toe. So get in and out of the strip is a little easier than a wide square toe, but you still have the toe box room that that you wouldn't maybe have in a 7-toe unless you went up a size. So it is an interesting toe, and I think the best thing about it is the look. It looks better. I always say that a wide square toe looks like a flipper because no toe is designed like that. Your foot isn't designed like that. It doesn't look like anything. It looks like you're wearing like you, it looks like you put your feet in 2 boxes of Kleenex and you're walking around on them.
That's your thought on it, not mine. I love
That
mine.
is my thought. Hey, don't get me wrong. I think they're comfortable. They just don't look good. There's no aesthetic to it at all. Anyway, speaking of seven toe, I wrote out the my notes for the Ruho Tate today, and I was actually gonna film that today because I said I was gonna do that video this weekend, but I had a lot of other stuff going on in show prep for this show. I didn't get it filmed. I'll film it tomorrow. But man, that is a good looking boot, and everybody knows my opinion on Mexican made boots. But it's just such a good looking boot. Have to wait for the full review coming in a day or two. Like I said, I'm hoping for tomorrow. But, we'll see. Just a good looking boot though, man. The color is great. It looks great in jeans. Yeah, I like it.
Yep, very very awesome pair of boots, and I mean, I don't know if anybody that is listening tonight have seen it on my channel, Cowboy Boots, Hats, and Western Life Enthusiast. I've already reviewed 3 pairs of Ruho boots, and 2 of them are 7-toe. One of those 7-toes is Ostrich, the other one is Cayman Belly, and my third one, which is awesome, is my Jakes, which are a Cayman hornback and a wide square toe with a um, roper heel, and they just feel phenomenal. I mean, the spacing and everything is just one thing, and that goes for any boots. One thing that will make a hide uncomfortable is improper fitting. So, we all know that boots like goatskin or ostrich feel better than, let's say, hornback cayman. But if a boot does not fit you well, it doesn't matter if it's a goatskin. That hornback cayman that does fit better will actually, uh, feel better on you than anything. So, um, any boot could feel good, um, as long as it fits good.
That's right. And you and I talked about that several times, and it's my opinion that people who decide square toe is the best boot in the world because it fits better haven't been wearing the right size boot.
Yep, definitely.
I know that for a fact. I've sold hundreds of pairs of boots. I have fit many people in boots, and one thing without fail, if somebody comes in for their first pair of boots, they're looking at the wrong size because they're trying to size it off of what tennis shoe they wear. That's not how you size a boot. And every boot fits differently. I've got boots that range from 8.5 double E, and the new Fenolios I got in are 10.5. I go figure. Luke
Yep.
Casey sized me, and I'm a 10.5. So it's just you really need to go somewhere where you can try on multiple pairs of boots. Now, places like Ruho and Tecovas, where they offer that free exchange, that's great. In theory, if you order a size 10.5, like you do in a tennis shoe, and you get the boot and it feels sloppy, maybe you don't know how the boot is supposed to fit. You say, well, it's too big. I'll change it out. And you get another size down, and maybe that's still too sloppy because you really shouldn't be a size 10.5. You might be a 9.5 in a boot or in that boot. And so then, it becomes this never ending cycle, or you wind up with a pair of boots that you just don't fit great. And then you have no idea what size you really need to be or, what you should be wearing. So that's a video that's been on my list to do, is how to properly fit a boot. I've been doing this series on things you kind of hear at a Western store, and it, I got many video ideas. I just did one the other day on how to size a hat, and actually I had some audio issues and I scrapped that video, so I'm gonna have to redo that one, and I'll have to do one on the how to size a boot. So,
yep.
What do you got coming up? Go ahead.
I
No,
was going to say, and I could definitely agree with you on that, Joe. As much of a fan as I am of square toe, just because of how they fit, and most of the time they're comfortable. I've had some companies that I've tried on their square toes, and I'm going to give this as an example. My Lucchese Creighton, they're a goatskin and they're a snip toe. So snip toe is about as narrow of a toe as you could get. And those boot fits more comfortable. Like I'm as good as if I was wearing a comfortable square toe than some other square toes, just because the fit is actually proper. So I will confirm, if you do love the look of a snip toe, but you're going on a square toe just out of comfort, well, you really need to be revisiting that again, because you probably just are not wearing the correct size boot, or you got a boot that naturally just doesn't fit your foot right. It usually happens on lower quality boots, so sometimes a higher quality boot that is fitted more properly and has been built off a better last will fit your foot better, and that's what you need.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would also say that Lucchese, even though it's my favorite brand, they have a horrible problem with size consistency. I am a size 10.5 in Lucchese. I have 4 pair of 9s in there that are brand new. 3 of them fit perfectly. One of them fits for crap.
What mug you got today, by the way? I see you got a little picture on.
It's the Alamo.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that mug.
On the back, it's remember the Alamo.
Yes, so I will be needing one of those.
They sell them at the Alamo.
Well, I'm gonna make sure I found a way to get one. I'm not wearing a mug. I have a similar mug. Give me liberty or give me death.
There you go. I have this habit where I don't use a lot of mugs, but I'm not a mug collector per se. I kind of stick with one mug, and as I get a new one, it becomes my primary mug. But I'll have a habit of, if I'm visiting someplace. For the longest time, it was I love the smell of jet fuel in the morning. I picked up at the Aerospace Museum in Ohio, and then Shiloh, Tennessee. The battlefield, I was there on the anniversary of the Battle of Shiloh, and I picked up a Shiloh mug. I have it in the cabinet, and that was my go-to mug for a while. And then now visited the Alamo and picked up this mug, and I really love the color. I got a thing for orange. I love orange.
That's awesome. I'm a mug collector. I'm gonna have to find a way to sort them when I get over, on my drive over, and then after that, I'm just gonna have to find a whole closet space for mugs and boots and hats.
There you go. Any update on your move to Texas? Still
Not too many updates. I'm definitely looking at January 7th for that. Um, I'm just kind of figuring everything out right now. Unfortunately, it is a little bit early to kind of plan things out. Some things just don't get planned out so early, but I'm trying to plan as much stuff out as I can so I could, know exactly how it's going to be done. So I'll get that out the way. And as I go along, kind of figure out the rest. But
Cool.
this move's happening, so I'm happy about it. Definitely can't wait.
Right.
Um,
We're excited to get you down here.
oh, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Um, what boots are you wearing today? We forgot to mention that. We talked about hats, but we forgot to mention boots.
Today I was wearing the Ruho Tates.
Nice.
I'm not going to give away any spoilers. You guys are going to have to watch the video. But I had some issues with them. I corrected the issues, and I wore them today to make sure they were corrected. So we'll talk about that in the video.
Nice.
Right, and I do like them. That's I will say that I think they're just a good looking boot. That color and that toe, and the just the look of it under a pair of jeans. It's just a fantastic looking boot, and that shaft on that boot is so soft and flexible that when I tried on a standard boot after wearing it, it was weird because a standard boot has a more inflexible shaft, and you kind of fight against it, and it'll wear against your ankles on the outside until it's formed properly to your foot. So it's a completely different experience. I don't think I have another pair of boots with a shaft. Yes, I do. I have my alligator boots have a more flexible shaft. I think they're
Right.
a deer skin or something.
Yep.
They've got a lot of overlay and inlay in them, so they're a little less flexible than the Ruho, but
Right.
still they're pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and one thing I really do love about the Ruho is I love the shaft designs. In your case, I believe yours had some cording on it.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine. The Jake also has some cording. The seven toes that I got was mostly stitching, but really, really nice and simple, intricate. They kind of know that they don't have to go too wild with the design. Just kind of going simple and refining it. That's just kind of the way to go.
So for me, stitching on a boot, I'm not a fan of stitching, and that all comes from starting with Lucchese Classics, and none of the Lucchese Classics are stitched. They're either embroidered, or they're inlay or overlay, or cording, but there's no stitching, like you find on maybe a cheaper boot, because all of the Lucchese Classics are handmade, and that's kind of the the idea. It's a higher end boot, more expensive boot, so they're going to finish it a little better, and just a stitched shaft is pretty cheap and easy to make. You throw it on a machine, and it puts some design on it, so you just don't
Most
find
definitely.
that. So it's not something I have a lot of, I guess. Some of the newer stuff I have gotten recently, like the Anderson Bean and the Fenolio, they're a less expensive boot. I mean, we're still talking about $400 plus price range for Anderson Bean, but they're that's still pretty inexpensive compared to a Lucchese classic, and they're a
right.
stitch boot too. So
Especially for something that is um, American made. But
yes,
one thing I will say is, the way Lucchese does their cording, and that's something you can tell apart from a high quality, more expensive boot, as like a Lucchese Classic or a Blackjack, or a Rios Mercedes. Whenever they do cording on their boots, you're going to see that maybe the stitching around the cording, or maybe whatever they're doing to actually tighten the cording to the shaft, it is much tighter than on a uh, cheaper boot that has been corded. So a cheaper boot that has been corded, you could see the cording and it kind of fades away, rather than that really tight and intricate um, cording on a Lucchese Classic or a Blackjack or any of the boots that are 1,000 plus and have those cording. Even the $900 um, Lucchese's that I had, the Charles that came in belly, you could see how very tight that the leather is pressed against the cording.
something that I'm just thinking of. When you saw a pair, I've got a pair of oiled calf Lucchese's that have toe bug and wrinkle on them. I don't generally have. It's not my favorite thing. So most of my Lucchese's don't have that. I think just one pair that has the toe bug and wrinkle. And you saw a picture of it, and they actually put cording in the wrinkle portion, and so it pops up and it sticks out. And you said, "Wow, it kind of looks 3D." Well, it is 3D. It's
Right.
um, but that's something I mentioned on uh, the excuse me, the Ruho review that I did. I noticed it has a toe bug and wrinkle, and I thought, that's kind of flat, and it's kind of, and I mentioned, it doesn't have any cording in it. Well, I don't think it's standard for most boots, but it's something that Lucchese does for, you know,
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing, very unique, and I've not seen that either. Now, um, most of my boots, actually, right now, at the time of this recording, all of my boots, including my Rios Mercedes and everything, um, are all stitched shaft, except for my latest real host, the Jake, that has some cording and some stitching. But with that being said, it's oddly enough, I just happen to have purchased a lot of boots with a stitch shaft, but I do like the look of the cording a lot more. Um, you know, it just kind of like you said, Joe, gives that three-dimensional effects. But one of your boots that has stitching on there um, is actually extremely nice and intricate, and it's your Lucchese elephants, and they have the skull design. Now that is so amazing because unless you're looking for it, you cannot see the skull in there. It's just faded into it, with all the floral designs and everything. It just faded into it so perfectly, and that's really awesome to see.
yeah, and that's and that kind of goes with what I was saying. That's it's a Lucchese Classic GY series, and it's kind of at a different level. But you have the difference between that and a stitched boot, is it's embroidered, so there's a lot of stitching there. It's not just a stitch pattern where you have lines. It is actually a
Yes,
ton of material overlapped, so it pops out. So
to make that picture, of course.
yeah,
I mean, it's a very intricate picture.
it is.
I'm sure you'll be able to pop that over. And actually, my favorite, one of the best looking boots that I've ever seen in my life, which is a Lucchese. It has the blue suede Cayman, And it has kind of like um, a bone deal on there, like for the shaft, and also it has that skull. So it's part of probably the same series of boots, and it is a seven toe. And I swear, I think this is just the most beautiful boot I've ever seen in my life. It's truly gorgeous.
I'll put pictures of that up too. Yeah, I know what the boot you're talking about, and the only reason I never ordered it is because it's a suede Cayman, and I didn't want to have to deal with the suede. I do like a suede boot, but it's a lot to take care of. Um, I've got
Yes.
I've got two pair of suede now, and the the only reason I got the first pair of suede was because it was hippo, and generally hippo is sueded. Uh, I say generally because I know Lucchese says that all of their hippo is sueded, and the only other hippos that I've seen is sueded. So I think it's something with the process, and they have to suede it. I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted
Oh,
hippo.
with hippo, right?
Yeah, I wanted hippo, so that was kind of the only option at the time. And
Yep.
so, but sueded Cayman, it looks great. I'm just not sure how much work it would be to take care of.
Yep. Oh, you're about to find out, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Um. So, for me today, I am actually wearing my Farini Teju lizards, which I thought they were next to me, but they're not. Um, I do have a review on it on the Cowboy Boots Hats and Western Life Enthusiasts. They're a pretty nice boot. Um, for me, the sizing has been a bit different. Their 12D kind of fitted me a little bit too tight with a tighter instep, and for the 13D, it was the complete opposite, and it was a little bit big, and I'm usually a 12D. But I was able to get one of the Anderson Bean insoles that came with my Anderson Bean Grizzly Bears, and that I wasn't using because it fits me better with the um, hard leather insole. And so I was able to use that and put it in there, and now it just fits great. I was in it all day long today, and it felt perfectly fine. So if you guys haven't seen that review, check it out. But definitely thank Farini Boots for allowing me to um, review their boots on my channel.
Speaking of boot reviews, when are we gonna get Ruho on here?
Oh yeah. Um. Well, I'm gonna have to find out um, when I could get somebody from Ruho to come, as our contact James is no longer there. So fully. So now we're just gonna have to kind of find out. We do look forward to it. Um, most definitely. Um,
Maybe he would still be able to do the podcast.
maybe, you know what? Yeah, because I mean, he's. I'm sure he still knows all the everything that's happening, and we could go ahead and still get that done with him. That'll be great. I will definitely contact him about that. Now, um, going back to Fenolio,
Hmm.
I as if you guys heard the last couple of podcasts, the day that we went to Fenolio, and we went to their store about 10 minutes away in Nakona. Um, I had gotten sick after eating some questionable tacos
Right.
at
You know why? Because we didn't ask Kayla Parr where to eat, because
that's right.
she gave us the good info on where to eat in DFW, but we didn't ask her where to eat in Bowie.
Yep. Joe just like, oh look, Mexican
Mexican
restaurant.
restaurant.
So I'm like, yeah, Mexican restaurant sounds good right about now. Um, it sounded better than it was. So, but however, so I kind of wasn't feeling really well, so I didn't have a real good chance to try on the boots the right way. Um, and I really, really do want to um, try them on um, a bit better. So I think at this point I've come to the understanding that I might just be a 12 and a half in Finolia boots. But definitely after looking at the review that Joe had put out, I mean, and obviously seeing them in person in the factory and seeing about their process, I mean, that is a really awesome looking boot and really well made right here or right over there in Texas.
Right here in Texas, yeah. You're gonna be
I
able to
ain't
say
there
that
yet.
soon.
I just, yeah, God willing, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Um, do they make a 12 and a half? Did you look that up? I know
You know
12 and
what?
I know
I
12 and a
have
half.
not.
My iPad's restarting, so I can't look that up right at the moment. I guess I could look it up on my.
Oh, it's okay. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Great. I'm actually looking it up right now.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. When you get into you can have an 11, 11 and a half, but generally when you get into a size 12, it's very hard to find a 12 and a half. I don't know why they go in whole
Right.
sizes a lot after 11 and a half.
And that's the thing I had to deal with. Like I said, with the Farini boots. Um, I went ahead and ordered a 12, and it was too tight. And I was thinking, well, either I get a 12 double E or I get a 12 and a half. Well, they didn't have anything after 11 and a half was not available in either half sizes or double E sizes. It was basically just 12 and 13, and it was, D. So my only choice was the 13D.
All right.
But that might not be everybody's problem, as, I haven't all these big size foot, you know, that I was blessed with. So, um, it's not a problem that everyone's having or will be having, but for those who are, well, I'm happy to tell you all about what I've done to actually make it work for myself.
Now, when we were at Finolio, you actually did a video too. Um,
Yes,
we need to get that. Need to get that over to you, that information, and that way you can get that uploaded, and hopefully before we do the interview with Caden.
yes, we definitely need to, and yeah, it seems that the 12 D is the only option. Then it goes up to a 13, and double E, I remember that 12 double E was just too wide for me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's going to be another deal where 13D might just be the best option for me.
I don't know, and maybe we can ask Caden about that when he's
Yeah,
on here,
absolutely.
because I have some questions for him. Um, I'm I'm already planning that these are going to be great. I'm hoping that they're going to be great because if they are, the prices that they're selling boots at and the quality that you know their finishing is, I I'd like 6 pair right off the bat. I mean, I could
Yes.
start. I've got a pair of Kuru. I'd like to have a pair of those in a 7 toe, or even this punchy toe, the cutter toe, because what I was saying though is, the only other pair of Kuru boot that I've really liked is the $2,200 Lucchese, which is, I think it's the bow. Great looking boot. Excuse me. It's a great looking boot. It has the I believe it has the skull and crossbones design as well. I'd have to
Nice.
look. I forget because it's so hard to get. Um, and back when I was buying a bunch of Lucchese, it was on my list, and it may be again if they. I've had so many problems with them, and the fit recently. I had that special order that the ostrich leg that came in, and I couldn't even get my foot in. I couldn't get my foot in the goat skin, the Leadville. Ordered these brown elephants and have had so much trouble with the fit on them. I kind of divorced Lucchese for a bit. Hopefully, after
So I break up.
after I got this sizing at the Lucchese custom shop when we were in Dallas Fort Worth, hopefully that will allow them to fit me a little better here in the future. And but I'm kind of happy I found Fenolio, and I would love to see what they can do with a $600 pair of Pirukuru versus a $2,200 pair. That looks the same. I mean, you're not going to see the shaft design under my pant leg.
No.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to do this this review this week. Wear them.
I think Fenolio's definitely putting out some boots that are at a really great price point and very well made. And I mean they're competing against other, like, as far as their pricing, other Mexican made boots, and also even beating some of them. And I'm sorry for you Chisos lovers out there. I know they're very comfortable
What a
boots,
pile of
but
crap Chisos is. I'm sorry.
oh, I wasn't gonna go all the way there, but
I'm going to go there.
they make
I'm
a
going to go
nice.
there, and I'll tell you
Go ahead.
why. I had a question on Facebook or on Instagram. No, one of those platforms. I had a question on YouTube yesterday about the Chisos conditioner, and I told them why the Chisos conditioner was not the best thing on the planet, and I gave them specific
Okay.
reasons why. We won't go into that now, but maybe we'll go into that in a video in the future. But Chisos is selling boots at a premium, $500 for a standard boot. They've got about 5 or 7 different pairs of boots. 2 of those are in the $2,000 range for a Mexican import. This guy is importing boots and charging Lucchese prices and Anderson Bean prices for them. If he was making them here in Austin at his shop, I would be over there asking for an interview and trying his boots on and saying good things about him. Why is he charging that much money for a pair of boots that he's not even making?
Right. And again, I have nothing against companies making boots in Mexico if they're going to be offering them at a great price and they're going to be a comfortable boot. Also, I do understand, and that's why I said in my review of the number twos on those that um if that's the boot that is really as comfortable as they say, and you said, well, I've tried every single boot and this is the only one I'm comfortable in, then it's, by all means, it really is worth the $500 that you're paying for them. But you got to really ask yourself, is it really the only boot that you could be wearing? Because $500 for a standard cowhide, and I mean their toe is very nice, and but I think that is a bit much to pay when you got Fenolio at half the price, making some
Anderson
beautiful
Bean?
American-made boots. Anderson Beans at the same price or even a little less,
Cheaper. Yeah.
making American-made boots. Yeah, Yeah, and you know, I mean, when they got a, to me, a bit of an odd looking ostrich uh
Who,
boot
Chisos?
uh that they call the king, yeah, Chiso's the king
Hmm.
ostrich for $1,200. That is that is kind of ridiculous to pay that. I mean, I'm sure it's some pretty nice ostrich, but again, I don't see the worth. But where they really got me, and they're actually sold out of it. They have their alligator boot selling for
Yeah,
$4,000.
yeah,
Remember
I
that?
saw it.
So four thousand
I saw it
dollars
yesterday.
for an alligator
I
boot.
think they're down to 2,000 now. They've got another boot for $2,000. Yeah, but I remember that. Yeah,
Oh,
they've got
really?
another boot.
I'm going to check it out now.
I'm pretty sure it's $2,000. Yeah, I mean, I was just surprised. But they're not the only one. Um, um, Tecovas, they have what is the price on that? Isn't it? I think it's $1,200 they have for their alligator boot, right?
No, no. I don't. So yeah, so the anniversary edition Chisos is still on their website for $4,000, and then they have the King Roper Ostrich for $1,200, and then yeah, they just released a number six, number five, and yeah, basically all their other boots are like around $545 for one suede cowhide, and the rest being all non-suede, so just regular grained cowhides at $545. But yeah, their anniversary edition boot, which is the alligator, is $4,000. It's just ridiculous, knowing that you can buy maybe four different pairs of, for that price you could buy four pairs of or two pairs of Flucases, American alligator, um, and or two pairs of blackjacks, and countless pairs of Fenolios.
18
Um,
pair of Fenolio.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah. If you're gonna be a bit more precise, definitely. Definitely, you could definitely get a lot more out of it. Now, what I will say is, I mean, I don't see the worth there.
No,
I don't see, I don't, and they're still sold out, by the way. I don't know
I
if,
think it was a limited number,
um,
25 pair.
yeah, yeah,
25 pair at $4,000.
exactly.
That's $100,000.
I mean,
He sold
yeah,
$100,000 worth of. It blows my mind, man. Just blows my mind.
I mean, you do get a number with it
Wow.
between 1 and 25.
Yeah.
So, who's the lucky number one?
That and a cup of coffee, right? Or that and $5 get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I think something like that. Maybe. But I mean, they are nice boots, and like I said, if you're comfortable in them, and I respect everyone's, telling me how comfortable they are. And I think at $545, if they are truly the best, most comfortable boot you've ever worn, yes, it is worth it 100%. But if it's, and that's just my honest opinion on it, or my humble opinion on it. If it is not the most comfortable boot you've ever worn, I don't see the value of $545 even on their cheapest boot.
So I'm looking at Tecovas right now, and it
Okay.
looks like they have discontinued that boot, the
Okay.
alligator. So they've got an alligator boot, but it's no longer shaft and vamp. It's now just the vamp.
Yes, I remember.
So it's
I remember. The one you were thinking of is called. I vaguely remember the name.
yeah,
Um.
it looks like they've discontinued it. It was out of stock for a long time, and I probably would have bought it because it was a good price, and the the alternative
It wasn't. We were talking about it.
was $15,000 for Lucchese's um, full
Right.
alligator, and so I think it was
$15,500.
and so I think Tecovas was around the $1,200 range, if I remember right. So anyway, it's gone now.
Right.
But
Yeah. I think that was a limited run. It was a full American alligator, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
I think it was a good looking boot for the
it was a great looking boot.
For the price.
I mean, considering it was 1/15 of the price of a Lucchese, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, about actually exactly 10%.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it might have been 1,500.
Yeah.
All right, Lionel. So you got anything else for us?
Well, that's right about it. I did want to say that I will be making a kind of a comparison, if anybody's interested in that, on a piece of Western apparel that not too many people seem to be wearing, but I sure do enjoy wearing it, and I think it's making a comeback. And if it's not, well, I hope to um, have it kind of be a comeback because I think it's mighty comfortable. But spoiler alert, it's going to be suspenders.
Suspenders. Okay.
Yep.
I was.
And I think we've seen that on the podcast.
Yeah.
Once.
I thought you were talking about something else, but that's cool. And I sent you actually a link to some handmade suspenders the other day because I knew you've been wearing them and you were interested in them. So, that'd be something interesting to get a hold of after you do your review. But what do you got?
Definitely.
What do you got coming up, and where can they find you? Other than in the show notes, because I'm going to put a link to all your information in the show notes.
Right. So I'm going to, well, as far as where they could find me, it's going to always be on the Cowboy Boots, Hats, and Western Life Enthusiasts, as always. On the Facebook page. Also, we got a few other pages, but also the Cowboy Boots, Hats, and Western Life Enthusiast YouTube channel. So you also could find me there too. So I'm pretty easily reachable. If you're looking at a guy on a bicycle, that's me.
All right.
Actually, I had a issue with that at one. The lady on Farini, she says, "Well, I'll try to look you up," and I saw a man on a bicycle. And she got a little confused by that, but I said, "Yep, that's me." She's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Time to update your profile picture.
I think it's right about that time. Yeah, maybe I'll do it when I get to Fort Worth.
All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. So, what have I got coming up? I got the Ruho review. I'm going to try to get that edited tomorrow. Probably more like Tuesday though, because I don't know. We'll see. Like and subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll know when it's coming out. But it should be by Tuesday. And then Fenolio, going to be wearing that all week, and we'll talk about some more suede care or suede or rough out care on that video.
Yes.
I'll be doing the video next weekend. Don't know when it'll actually come out, so that's coming up. We got Caden Fenolio on the next podcast, Fenolio Boots. Just today, so I've always had my hat patches on cowboycartelgroup.com, but just today they are now in our Facebook store. So you can find those in our Facebook store as well as cowboycartelgroup.com. You can email the podcast at cowboycartelgroup.com. And you can ask us questions if you have any suggestions for upcoming shows, or if you would like to be a guest on the show, definitely send us an email. You can always find me. My contact information is at the end of every video, as well as it's on my YouTube channel. You can find me at Cowboy Cartel Group Facebook page, cowboycartelgroup.com, and always at the American Hat Company Facebook enthusiast group. American Hat Company enthusiast
I'm
Facebook
always
group.
there too.
Yeah. So, all right, Lionel, great show. We really appreciated Tim showing up and doing this with
Absolutely.
us. Just an amazing guy. If you have not tried Tim's coffee, go buy his coffee. And the notes in the show notes, you will see his all of his contact information.
Yep. And if you guys actually go on the Stronger 413 website and you guys look up the phone number to Stronger 413, you will not get anybody else answering that phone but Tim. So Tim answers that phone. That is his direct contact. So
please send him an email or a message on Facebook and thank him for doing this show, because, and send him some words of encouragement, because he is an inspiration. And again, we just really appreciate him. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Lionel, good show. Thanks for showing up,
sir.
and hang out for just a minute after we get out of here. And we'll make sure the upload's done. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.